Big day tomorrow across this land. So many, 36 governor seats, 36 Senate seats, and 435 House seats up for grabs tomorrow. None more important than out in Washington State in the 8th Congressional District, where Democratic candidate Jason Ritchie joins us on our news line this morning. Hey, Jason, thanks for getting up so early for us this morning.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Long-time fan.
Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, I'm sure you've been getting up early for a long time now out there on the campaign trail, right? So it's not that unusual, right?
Not at all. No. I definitely am up early every day, and it's not an early riser for me, and I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Tell us about the 8th Congressional District. First of all, what part of Washington State will you represent?
It's the 8th district is it's a purple district. It voted for Obama in 2012, and it's been held by Republicans for 10 years. Same Republican that voted for the shutdown. It's the east side of Seattle, not Seattle itself, but the eastern suburbs, over the Cascade Mountains. So some agricultural area.
Yeah.
University, Central Washington. Yep.
Well, that's a great area there, and love Seattle. Love getting out there. As you've moved around that district, Jason, what do people care about? What are the issues? You know, we inside the Beltway think we really know what real America thinks, but we don't. But you do. You're on the ground out there. What are people concerned about?
Jobs. It really comes down to jobs. Middle-class living wage jobs is the universal conversation point that everyone, whether you're Democrat, Republican, or Independent, doesn't matter. If you don't have a solid, long-term, stable, middle-class living wage job, you're concerned about everything else going on. That's where those social issues come into play. Pay equity, huge issue. My opponent voted against pay equity, against Lilly Ledbetter. Huge issue for a lot of people. And comprehensive immigration reform, again, my opponent won't get on board. Major issue out here, and that's just something that people seem to universally think is an important thing to move forward on. It's going to affect this district in positive ways all over the place. And that's something that we found is a very strong issue for us.
We think about, maybe incorrectly, but we think about the Seattle area as, a booming economy, particularly with high tech moving up there and Microsoft and all of that. But you're telling us there's still a lot of people hurting in terms of both getting a job and getting a good salary?
It is. And we have a strong economic. This across the district is very strong, but essentially what we find is that the jobs there are just not stable. We want long-term middle-class living wage jobs, not these short-term part-time jobs. We need jobs that are more focused on infrastructure reinvestment, something I've really been pressing on. We want to have jobs of carpenters, electricians, plumbers. I'm a construction general contractor by trade, and I know these guys are the people that are the bread and butter of our economy, and when middle-class people don't have those jobs with long-term stability, they're worse.
Tell us, I want to ask you about a couple of issues that you'll be, if everything goes right tomorrow, and I hope it does, that you'll be called upon to vote for. Minimum wage is one outstanding issue in Congress. Where do you stand on that?
I'm strongly in favor of Senate Bill 1010. Absolutely raising the national living wage to $10.10 an hour is a must. My opponent thinks there shouldn't be any national living wage. In Washington State, we have a $9.75 minimum wage, and that has really helped our economy live longer, withstand the slowdown of the Great Recession, and so that's been a major pressing point for me. I've been pressing that issue for months now, and it's something my opponent doesn't want to talk about.
Yesterday, we saw I guess it was Saturday, maybe overnight, the UN panel on climate change came out with its report saying that climate change is happening now. It's man-made. It's worse than we ever even thought it was, and that we have to act now if we're ever going to basically save the planet. Most Republicans in Congress, including, I think, your opponent, don't want to do anything about climate change. Where do you stand?
I think it's an opportunity. I believe it's man-made. I believe we are contributing to it, and I believe we have to do something about it. I look upon it as an economic opportunity. It's a chance for us to create those middle-class living wage jobs in our community. We have huge wind farms out here in the eastern Washington area in Ellensburg, and they do great things. It's expanding. It's creating those jobs, and I think it's an opportunity. And again, you're right. My opponents just completely ignored it, sticking their head in the sand, like it doesn't matter.
Have you had any debates with? It's Dave Reichert, who's the incumbent there. I don't mention his name, but have you had any? Was he willing to debate you in this contest?
No, we offered right after the primary. The primary, we came out and said, anytime, anywhere has been my refrain, and he will not even respond, not even no. So. There's a lot out. He voted for the shutdown. He voted to sue the president. He tries to come off as a moderate, but he's a Tea Party guy, and he doesn't want to be that guy that's out there trying to explain his record because he has no record. He has no legislative accomplishments, and he certainly doesn't want to have to stand up into a debate. And he's done certainly a good job of listening to those political people that tell him that would be a mistake, and it would be. Because we'd nail him on every single issue. So, no, he will not debate.
He voted to sue the president, one of those. Talk about extremist, right? I mean, to me, that's the definition of a Tea Partier.
Yeah.
Agreed. He certainly is one of those guys. He doesn't want to admit that he participated in any of that. So he doesn't have a jobs plan, doesn't have any kind of education plan. He's just a placeholder, and he's just a Boehner guy that seems to stand up when Boehner tells him to and doesn't really have anything else to offer and certainly doesn't have any creative ideas to get things going economically back here in Washington State.
Jason Ritchie is our guest. He's a Democratic candidate for Congress out in Washington's 8th Congressional District, and you can find out no matter where you are in this country, it's important to have progressives like Jason Ritchie in the United States Congress. Getting rid of some of these Tea Party Republicans. You can find out more about Jason's campaign at his website, Ritchie, Ritchie, ritchieforcongress.com. And finally, Jason, I want to ask you, one issue that Republicans ran away from, before they took their break and may be voting on when they come back, although it's not sure, and that's an authorization for the war that we've now begun against ISIS in Syria. Some Republicans and Democrats, both, by the way, say, well, the president can just do this. There's no need for Congress to act. Others say Congress, must act. Where do you stand?
Congress must act, though. I mean, that's their constitutional obligation. What concerns me is that they seem to want to stick the president out there to dry on these things, just let him act unilaterally, except when it goes against what they think is the good political move. I respect what the president's doing. I have some concerns about it. I certainly don't want to have American troops on the ground in another Middle East war. I don't think that's going to get the job done. I respect that he's trying to build up our allies to get them on the ground, and we're fighting using our air support to degrade and eventually defeat this crazy enemy back there in the Middle East in this lawless area. But I think that the way Republicans have handled it, to me, it's just a mess, and they have a constitutional obligation, and they're denying it just purely out of creating a political problem for no reason.
Well, listen, good for you. It's a job of Congress to declare war. That's what the Constitution says. And I think Congress should be demanding that opportunity. Glad to hear you say that. Hey, Jason, good to join you. It's no doubt you're ready to go. You're ready to serve the country and the Congress. Hope you get that chance. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll be talking to you soon. See you back here in Washington.
Thank you very much.
Jason Ritchie. Ritchie for Congress, Ritchie, ritchieforcongress.com. We'll be right back.
This is the Bill Press Show.